I'm a real redneck today, standing out here in the sun for 3 days working on the tails of those floats. My neck is burnt to a crisp. It's sore as can be. My arms are pretty red and sore too. I don't know how much of that is from the sun, how much of it is from pulling them in and out of that little handhold covers there, working on the inside of that float, both back there bucking the rivets and cleaning the epoxy resin out of this forward hatch. That's irritating, running in and out of there. Now we've had several nice days, a week of nice weather in a row. Temperature's been up 80 degrees here, and we're not used to that kind of weather here, but don't have to worry about it much longer. The forecast shows rain tomorrow. It says today is the last day of this sunny weather. It's supposed to cloud up and cool off and start raining tomorrow, and for the next 5 or 6 days in the outlook it's showing rain. This will be the last day I've got to work on this float outside here. I still got a couple of days worth of work here I'd like to get done on it, but some of that I can get done when it's in the hangar, even after it's put on the airplane. Some of it is a lot easier and nicer to do what's sitting out here, where I can move the floats around and change the angle on them. It is what it is. I got plenty of work to do in the hangar and in the shop there that I can do undercover. When I first looked at this patch here, actually we went over and inspected the floats before I ever bought them. Got a little bit of a look at this patch, and I didn't like the looks of it then, and I didn't like it anymore once I got it home here and got it tipped over. It had a big gob of epoxy resin all over the bottom of it. It looked like a big blister. I got the epoxy resin off the outside here. It just popped off, but that inside they filled up it with epoxy resin there on the floor too and dummied it up pretty good in there. Well, I spent 3 hours yesterday and about an hour this morning reaching down in there trying to break all that stuff out of there. Bad thing about the epoxy resin is it doesn't stay bonded to that aluminum. It pops loose from that, so water can seep in underneath it. It sits over those rivets and underneath those channels and stuff like that, and then it's just about impossible to get it to break loose and get out of there in the spots where it does stick down. So it's a real pain in the butt working on in there to get it out of there. So it does work for a temporary repair. It'll last for maybe a season or a short time or something, but it's almost not worth using because of the effort it takes to clean it out. Well, I got enough of it cleaned out on the inside that I can take this patch out of there, and once I get this hole opened up here, maybe I can get the rest of that out of there that I was having a hard time with from the top. Well, I got the rivets drilled out of this. Once I got to looking at this patch, the patch itself, the sheet metal work on it, is not as bad as I thought. The patch on the inside is a square patch, and it slides in underneath the rib to the front of that. There's a rib that runs along right in front of that patch, and it slides in underneath that and was riveted down to it. And then it's got a joggle in it, and it fits over the rib there right behind it. There's a rib that runs along right there where the hole is, and it's got a little joggle in it there that fits right over that real nice and is riveted down to it. So I thought once I took all those rivets out of the skin around there that I could just pop that thing out of there. But it turned out that filler patch that fit in the hole was on the underside of that rear rib there. So I had to de-rivet that so I can get that other patch up and slide it out from underneath that front one. Now they did put some kind of sealant on there, but it's not very good. It stinks to high heaven and it's hard. It might be zinc chromate, it might be something else, I don't know what it is, but it didn't seal up very good in there and it all squished out. I get that cleaned up around there and everything and put some PRC 5200 on everything and put it all back together just the way it was, and it should be a pretty good patch then. Well, that took all day, but that patch is finally back on there. My wife went over to a friend's this morning to pull crab pots, and she spent all day cleaning and processing Dungeness crab. Well, I got this all started put together. I put the clecos in it and everything and started bringing out the rivets and getting the tool set up just as she got home, so that worked out just perfect. But like I said, it took us all day. I don't know what time it is now, 7 o'clock or so, been working at it all day, but we got it. It's the same patch as it was, basically the same thing that it was. I drilled out a couple of the holes there and put number 6 rivets in it where it had number 5s before, but mostly it's all exactly the same as it was, except it's all glued together with the good Gookumpucky, the PRC 5200. I didn't get a chance to get in and seal up the inside of the floats like I wanted to, but we got that much done, so that's good. And it is starting to cloud up. We got high clouds coming in right now. It's pretty much all overcast now, and the humidity's gone up. Bugs are coming out.